nation has been waiting for. Journalism that builds a better informed society. Journalism that is responsive to society's needs. Class News delivers accurate, creative and distinctive news with speed to listeners as they unfold, providing unparalleled perspectives to the stories that matter to you. In the Class Newsroom, our endeavour is to remain true to high journalistic values, bringing through your radio in-depth reporting of stories that helps you to develop a deeper understanding of issues.
Hello, good evening. It's 5 p.m. Welcome to 505. Coming up this evening, Obuasi Senior High School shut down after violent student clash leaves headmaster injured and hospitalized.
Together with the Regional Educational Director, together with Obuasi Educational Director, at the moment we are doing a roll call. After the roll call, we will ask everybody to go home whilst we'll continue with the investigation.
We'll hear from the religious leaders who have united against writing and discipline in senior high schools.
As all, in all facets of our national life, of even greater concern and worry to the government, the society and stakeholders in education is the specter of gross indiscipline and hooliganism in our educational space. Currently, there is a raging public debate about how to curb the menace.
Also coming up this evening on 505, the new Patriotic Party is set to lead a major protest in Accra tomorrow, describing it as the most consequential since the Fourth Republic began.
Notice to stage a mammoth demonstration. The essence of this demonstration is the selective justice we are witnessing.
The mission is to sound the alarm on what they describe as the systematic dismantling of Ghana's democratic institutions that target a government they accuse of weaponizing the judiciary, the police, state agencies to crush political opposition.
Over the year, we've been tagged as the beacon of democracy, and today we are lacking behind on all fronts. Amazing.
Meanwhile, the new Patriotic Party is asking the government to disclose the specific taxes, levies and margins being adjusted to fund the temporary 2 Ghana cedis per litre reduction in fuel prices. And later this evening, the People's National Party also says it will participate in the MPP organized demonstration, arguing that democracy must guarantee equal justice, freedom and expression and protection under the law for all Ghanaians. Later tonight, farmers along White Volta River appeal to government to delay Bagre Dam spillage over crop loss fears. These and more stories plus some interesting analysis to do. Stay with us. And this bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here. Digital address GO 0423598. Not Laboni, third day work on class 91.3 FM in Accra. Yours live on Ho FM 92.5, Hills 91.7 at Dakulu, both in the Volta region. Max Empire 96.9 at Bazwa in the Upper East region. Dagon FM 102.5 in Tamale, Radio Power 96 in Spain. We're live on Facebook. Connect with us or join us with a thoughts, comment, and contributions with a hashtag 505. Alternatively, through our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. It's time. It's 505. Welcome. Well, 505 is always brought to you by MTN Everywhere Go. Review, scratch for win and Electroland Ghana Limited. Now to the very first story. The Obuasi Municipal Security Council has ordered immediate closure of Obuasi Senior High School, Obuasi Senior High Technical School, following a violent student riot that left the headmaster critically injured and caused extensive damage to school property. The headmaster, Abdullah Zakaria, sustained severe head injuries after some students allegedly attacked him with cutlasses over rumors that he had secretly buried an infant on the school premises. He was first taken to the Anglo-Gold Ashanti Hospital in Obuasi before being transferred to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital in Kumasi for further treatment. The municipal chief executive for Obuasi, Faustina Apia Kenin, announced the closure after an emergency security meeting held at the school. She said authorities are conducting a mandatory roll call before students are sent home to allow security agencies to carry out investigations. 6 students have so far been arrested in connection with the attack, while police have been deployed to the school to maintain law and order.
I had a call that they've attacked the headmaster of Old Tech Secondary School. So immediately I called the district commander to find out. Luckily for me, he was in the school already. And so far we've been able to curb the situation. The school is calm, everywhere is calm. But we are planning together with the regional educational director, together with Obuasi educational director. At the moment we are doing a roll call. After the roll call, we will ask everybody to go home whilst we'll continue with the investigation. They arrested 6 of them and they are in the police custody as we speak. They destroyed, I think, about 3 bungalows and 2 private cars belonging to the headmistress and the headmaster. They vandalized the headmaster's apartment and together with the other 3 houses. At the moment, he is at Confanoche. When the incident happened, he was rushed to Anglo Gold Ashanti Hospital, and then from there, they refer him to Confanoche Teaching Hospital. Of course, we've done our part. As a mother, I came here with my coordinating director together with the security services. We've all spoken to them, hoping that they will take the advice. Like I said, they are all going home to continue with their parents' advice as well. Until then, after the investigation, maybe they'll be called to come back to school to learn.
So that's the Municipal Chief Executive for Obuasi Fosila Bapia Kenin. Let me speak with Irene Sam, who is the Public Relations Officer for the Parent Teacher Association. Irene, good evening to you. I'm grateful for your time on 505. This is where we are. 6 students arrested. There's a directive by the Municipal Chief Executive to shut down the school. Currently, some investigations are being carried out by the police. First of all, what's your reaction to the attack on the headmaster, the shutdown by the school currently?
Well, let me say a good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers, and I'm grateful for having me here this afternoon. Actually, upon seeing it and hearing of it, is so devastating. You know, we felt that where we are now, we have passed by some of these things. The kind of talk that we are having with our wards, the kind of indiscipline that we want to, encourage in our schools. We will not anticipate something of this sort to happen. But as we have realized, it has already happened. So we are also grateful to the Municipal Chief Executive for the move that she has taken just to ascertain the whole situation for now. But we'll only wait for investigation to be carried out, because what they have done is not good at all. It's something that we don't even want to hear as a PTA or as a national body. It's not something that we parents want to hear about it. So as it has happened now, we want to do our further investigations as to why some of these things should happen. We know that ordinarily laws shouldn't be taken into people's hands. Whatever it is, it should be addressed amicably. So let's do our investigations and see where the issues are and see how we can also come in and help the situation.
I see. Well, this is not the first time we having violence or clashes in our various schools. I remember we've had several conversations about indiscipline in the school. And many people argue that discipline begins at home. How can parents work more closely with schools to identify and address behavioral problems before they escalate?
Yes, you are perfectly right that charity begins at home. And then the discipline that we are talking about, it should emanate from the home. The home becomes the cradle for discipline and for all forms of training in terms of moral and other values that we can inculcate in our world. So we only want to plead with our parents that the need has come for us to intensify our moves, the way we talk to our world, the way we count, the way we guide them. We have to be up to the task and know that some of these things should be encouraged in any part of our country or any part of our world. So we should keep on encouraging our world and also to admonish them as to the best practices thereof and how to conform to rules and regulations that we have in our various schools in Ghana.
Is the closure of the school the best option you think the Assembly has taken?
Yes, please. I believe so. Looking at the threat that it can give to human life. So the best approach is to close it down and then they do further investigation. Let's see how far they will go with this, and then we can know whatever steps that they need to take again.
What are the sanctions you will propose for students who engage in some of these unfortunate incidents on our various campuses?
Well, I believe that the GES code of conduct that we have in our various schools in Ghana, there is a portion that talks about violence and violence or whatever it is. Yes. So when it comes to violence, the sanctions are that they have to, if it borders on criminality, then it should be reported to the police and the police take it out from there. And those involved will have to face the disciplinary committee in the school, and then they will advise as to whatever sanction they have to go about it. So there are rules and there are regulations and how each and every one of us or our wards need to behave in our schools. So the matter of violence, it should be handled as such. Those that border on criminality must be reported to the police and the police take it out from there. But the other stuff, that they have to face the disciplinary committee and then they will advise as to how far to go about. I know some of these sanctions are to debordenize the people involved and sometimes also total dismissal, regarding how grave the offense is. So some of these sanctions are there that can be applied wrong.
What kind of, so beyond punishing the students, debordinizing them, giving them outright dismissal, for students involved, what long-term interventions do you think we need to rebuild discipline and respect for authorities in our schools?
I believe that the home and the school must collaborate effectively, making sure that we instill the right sense of moral in our work, both in the home and also in the school. And then those who are found culpable, sanctions be applied to serve as a deterrent to many others who may want to, go into such, acts of indiscipline in various schools. Discipline, as we speak, is a huge task. It's so complex, and then all of us must come together and make sure that we do the right thing. And some of us as individuals, as parents, and also as adults, my whole set of examples for our work to also emulate in the home, in the school, in the society that they find themselves. And then social media space that we find ourselves through these days, a lot of violence and so let's see how best we can sanitize our social media space, the kind of content that is being, which is being shared on the social media space, and how well we have to conform to our rules. The Ghanaian that we know, the typical Ghanaian, is not a violent person. The typical Ghanaian is not someone who flouts rules and regulations. So let's bring back that kind of normality in our homes, in our schools, in our church, in our various communities now, so that when we also engage our wards extensively, the need for them to conform to rules and to know that discipline is part of achievement. If you're not disciplined, you cannot achieve anything in this world. I think that conversation must also go down well with our wards as we move on and as we guide them for them to behave well wherever they find themselves.
Irene, thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm grateful. So that's Irene Sam, who is the public relations officer for the Parent Teacher Association. Let me take you to Obasi Senior High School in Ashanti region and speak with my colleague with our sister station, Kumasi FM, Elisha Adakwa. Elisha, good to have you on 505. So the school has been shut down. There's a directive for the school to be closed down today. The municipal chief executive talked about screening them before they are taken out of the school. Currently, what is the situation? Have all students been screened and been asked to go home?
Yeah, currently they are still undergoing the mandatory roll call to ensure those who are available are listed, and all those who are not in school are also noted down. So they are still undertaking that particular mandatory process. After that, they will disperse the students to go to their various destinations, as their homes, to allow the security agencies to initiate in-depth investigations into this particular incident. And this decision was taken after the Municipal Security Council met today, and the Municipal Security Council chairperson, that's the Municipal Chief Executive, together with the Municipal Education Directorate, went to the campus to interact with the students, advising them to not to embark on such routing, and if they have any issue, they should channel it through the necessary areas for those issues to be addressed for them. So for now, they are still on the screen. After that, according to the MUSEC, they will ensure that the students are dispersed to their various destinations to allow the security personnel to conduct in-depth investigations into this incident. And as of now, the headmaster who was actually attacked during the incident is still at the admission at the Confounded Teaching Hospital, that's the emergency ward, and he is receiving treatment. And not only the headmaster who was injured, some school properties were also vandalized, especially the headmaster's vehicle and other property belonging to some teachers, and as well as the property of the school. So investigation is about to go on concerning this particular incident.
I see. It's 5 p.m. and I don't think that the students will be allowed to go home or be asked to leave the dormitories this evening because of some security reasons. I'm sure that there are timelines as to when this roll call will be done, possibly tomorrow or tomorrow next.
Probably, according to the security agencies, they will ensure that even if they are not able to complete with the roll call, they will ensure that by tomorrow, after the completion, they will allow the students to go home for the investigations to continue on. And as of now, the security agencies are still on campus, ensuring that the students do not route again on campus as the situation has been calmed down on campus now.
So it means that there's tight security on campus?
Yeah. After the incident, the MUSEC deployed some security personnel to ensure peace and order in the campus of the institution, so that the student will not go about doing what will actually de-escalate the incident that actually happened. So security agencies have, security personnel have been deployed to the campus to ensure tight security.
Very well. Elisha, thank you so much. So that's my colleague in the Ashanti region with our sister station, Kumasi FM, Elisha Dakwa, giving us an update latest on the clash that happened in Obuasi Senior High Technical School. Meanwhile, Muslim and Christian leaders have called for urgent measures to address growing cases of student indiscipline in schools, particularly at the senior high school level, describing the trend as a threat to Ghana's education system and moral values. The call was made during the 4th Ghana Muslim Leaders and Catholic Bishops Dialogue held at the National Mosque here in Accra, where religious leaders discussed strategies to restore discipline and promote responsible behavior among students. The leaders expressed concern over what they describe as increasing cases of undiscipline and hooliganism within the educational sector, stressing their need for collective action to protect the future of young people. A speech delivered on behalf of the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharbutu by his spokesperson Sheikh Arimiyahu Shaibu highlighted the importance of dialogue in addressing national challenges. Listen.
My dear brothers and sisters, the theme for this year, dialogue, could not have been chosen at a better time. There is growing concern about the spate of indiscipline plaguing us all in all facets of our national life. Of even greater concern and worry to the government, the society, and stakeholders in education is the specter of gross indiscipline and hooliganism in our educational space. Currently, there is a raging public debate about how to curb the menace. The choice of the theme, therefore, is a demonstration of our shared concern and commitment to explore every available means to cure the malady, both in the medium and the long terms. To that effect, a joint working committee would be set up to see to the implementation of the recommendations of this meeting. The committee will be tasked to draw up an action plan, mobilize resources, and execute the action plan and report successes and failures or challenges during the next dialogue meeting in 2027.
So that's the spokesperson by the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Armiya Shaibu, highlighting the importance of the dialogue in addressing national challenges. While the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Okyere Jnr, also stressed the need for collective responsibility in tackling student indiscipline. Here.
Invite all of us to reflect together on one of the most pressing challenges facing Ghana today. Indiscipline of students is not merely a question of bad behavior or broken rules. It points to a deeper issue, the kind of human person we wish to form. A nation is not built by skilled professionals alone, but by women and men of integrity, capable of discerning what is right, choosing it freely, and placing their talents at the service of the common good. And this is precisely where religions, like Muslims and Christians, have an indispensable mission. Despite the diversity of our traditions, we share a fundamental conviction that education is sacred and it's our responsibility to do so. To educate a child is not merely to transmit knowledge, but to help him or her grow in wisdom.
So that's the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Okyere Jnr. Let's do some politics now, because the New Patriotic Party has secured police approval for its planned democracy and attack protest tomorrow, August 6, 2026. The party received the green light from the Greater Accra Regional Police Command after submitting formal notice on Friday, July 31, 2026. The demonstration, which the party describes as mammoth, will assemble at 5 a.m. in front of the Supreme Court before proceeding to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko, and then the Jubilee House. A petition will be presented to Parliament through designated representative. The protest comes in the wake of the Court of Appeal's decision to acquit and discharge former Maslok Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamakulu Ationu, overturning her conviction and 10-year prison sentence. The MPP also cited concerns over what it described as selective justice, interference with the judiciary, and the repressive bail conditions imposed on opposition members. We'll try to bring you the sound of the New Patriotic Party, what they talked about. Now we can listen to the New Patriotic Party.
Notice to stage a mammoth demonstration. The essence of this demonstration is the selective justice we are witnessing, the interference with our judiciary, again, the repressive and onerous bail conditions being slapped on members of the opposition, and the fact that today, as we speak, democracy is under attack. Suppression of free speech, criminalization of free speech. We cannot witness the fact that our democracy is dying. And this is not what President Mahama promised. President Mahama cannot support over a nation that over the years we've been tagged as the beacon of democracy. And today, we are lacking behind on all fronts. It's amazing. So we intend to stage this mammoth demonstration to express our dissatisfaction, to press home some demands that democracy is the way to go. So President Mahama and the NDC cannot suppress our democracy. So Thursday, 6th of August, in the morning, 5 a.m., we gather in front of the Supreme Court. We'll present the first petition at the Supreme Court. And then we'll move straight in front of the streets, the Yoko street, the street in front of Yoko, then we will just move straight to Jubilee House to present the other petition. There will be a last petition that will be sent to Parliament House that will delegate the leadership in Parliament and some leaders of our party to present that petition. We are going to hold this mammoth demonstration.
So that's the national organizer for the opposition New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, known as Nana B. Let me go on the phone line and speak with Dr. Jonathan Asantotri, who is Executive Director of the African Institute for Strategic Studies. Doc, good evening to you. I'm grateful for your time on 505.
Good evening, KOJ.
The MPP has framed this protest as a fight for the soul of our democracy, citing concerns over selective justice and interference with the judiciary. Is this a genuine concern for democratic principles, or could it be a strategic political move?
Well, I would say that it is neither of the two. The only thing you can say is that probably they want to have a way of re-energizing their base. Others too have their own parochial interest. And that parochial interest is about their forthcoming elections and where they want to position themselves, because coming on the back of the mammoth defeat or gargantuan defeat that is suffered at the hands of the current government, the current party in government, that is the NDC, many are those who have the view that the current leadership at the national level have no business remaining there, whether general secretary, whether chairman, whether national organizer. And so it is just like behind every action there is a reason, or there is a selfish interest, and that is what is panning out as we speak. Now, what is it that is called selective justice? Over the years, I've never seen any attorney general who filed nolle prosequi. Do you remember the nolle prosequi that President Kufuor, when the MPP lost the elections, filed for Nana Kunedu over the Nsawam cannery? What did anybody explain anything? After dragging the woman back and forth, your own like somebody from your lineage, right? And it was just a political prosecution. Nothing came out of it. Then you found on the prosecution. And the woman denied that no, they don't need it. They don't need it. In that period of the NDC, you have Dr. Ayene, who even goes further to explain the basis for filing the nolle prosequi. And you see, when you lump up these nolle prosequi together, that is where it serves their convenient narrative. Now, would Nana B tell me that the treason charges that his government leveled against Oliver Bakavomawo, why is he not talking about the nolle prosequi that Ayine filed? Is that not part of the nolle prosequi? Would that qualify as selective justice? What about the 49 youth that went on demonstration against Galamsey, who were put behind bars? They were also part of the nolle prosequi. You put these people behind bars. Would that not qualify as selective justice? People who are fighting against Galamsey, a good cause for that matter, they were put behind bars, including Bako. What is it, the Democracy Hub or something like that?
Yeah, sure.
And many others. There was this youth constituency organizer in Ashanti region, Kumasi, there about that place,
Mm-hmm.
who ill spoke. What happened to him? The police hunted him. He even submitted himself. He was put behind bars. He wasn't part of the Nolly Protocol, though. But that is the speech kind of thing. And we have a list. It is not about equalization. It's about the fact that he who calls for equity must come in clean hands.
Yeah.
If you really read the Sedna Tamaklos case, then you compare to the verdict of the appeals court, and by this you think that the fight against corruption is lost, or there is selective justice, or in that case, if Wuntumi goes for appeal, it should also be released. That is what they are trying to force from the process. Look, if I negotiated for a contract to supply a number of vehicles, then, as I said in local language, Popi and Tuata, the NDC loses elections. That had not been supplied. And then a new government comes. Well, then Mr. Sika, now Dr. Stephen Amwa, they renegotiate, and then a new payment is made. Whether they negotiated downwards or upwards, it does not reflect the very contract the woman did. I'm not holding brief for her. You cannot hold her responsible for that which she did not commit. So how do you charge her for causing financial loss to the state? So it is because they are obfuscating the issues. They don't want people to read. And they don't want people to explain. So far, from the time, and as we speak, the woman is still behind bars. She's still in prison.
In prison, yeah.
And you even have the Attorney General saying that no, they are going for appeal. That one too, you are saying it is certain. Then, in actual fact, do you really want justice? Because I listen to people and say, so you say you want justice, but if the system accuses someone wrongly and the same system releases that person, is that not part of the justice process? It is. So as for this, it's just a keep fit exercise that they will want to see if their base is still, strong. Because as far as the Constitution is concerned, as found in the what is it called? The Constitution, you are allowed to, go on demonstration as long as your freedom does not interfere in anybody's system. And finally, on this same issue, how can they accuse government of interfering in the judiciary? So these crooked charges that they leveled against the woman, and of course, the woman is part of the problem. You said you were traveling abroad for medical care, and then later on, somebody assigned your bail condition. You decide not to come back. Of course, if you are not there, they'll go back and forth, and then they'll find some of charges against you. And that is what exactly happened. We're in this country when about 4 or 3 MPs wanted to go on as independent candidates. The law is clear, the Constitution, the parliamentary standing orders are clear. Once you do that, Professor Kwame Okyere had reason to do same against the former MP. Now, suddenly, if the 3 of them leave Parliament, right, then it means that the majority will become minority. What did Afenyomarkins do? Would we qualify that as manipulation of the judiciary? Because they did unthinkable. First of all, the Supreme Court doesn't sit. Late morning, he was able to get the Chief Justice to empanel for people to sit on this, place an injunction on the speaker from acting same. And you know what happened? You know what happened?
Well, Doc,
So, if that cannot be considered as a manipulation of judiciary, when 3 of these appeal court judges sat on this issue, 2 of the judges were appointed by President Akufo-Addo. 1 was appointed by President Mahama. If the same simplistic interpretation of people holding allegiance to the president that appoints them is the case, and not just mere law, then the appeal shouldn't have what? Seen the light of day. But they are doing law. And they said the charges were defective. You should rather blame Mr. Odame, Godfred Dame, for his incompetency. Because if you look at his track record, if the what's it called? If the appeals court is saying that the charges were defective, it does not meet the criminal threshold, and you saw the way it tried manipulating that two person case with that of Jaka, then it means that is the way the guy does his law. That is the way the former Attorney General does his law or gets conviction. So it is just unfortunate. They should rather blame the incompetency of Mr. Godfrey Dame. That is where they should lay the blame.
You have said it all, but I want to ask specifically, because the protest tagline is democracy under attack. It's a strong one, I believe. From where you sit, not to score any political point, genuinely, is democracy under attack?
Far from that. They have had about 2 demonstrations also. Did you hear the police attacking any of them? Did you hear the police arresting? They've had about 2. Even going to, lawlessly occupy
Yoko's office, yeah.
Class 91.3 FM.
If you have the liberty to go on demonstration enshrined in the Constitution, article, I've forgotten the article. Where lies the democracy under attack? Where lies the democracy under attack? You see, it's an opposition party. You cannot advise them. But if you see the way they are defending Mr. Wontumi, they seem to have forgotten that decision in itself has a converse relation. That converse relation is the fact that you are a tacit supporter of Galamsey. If you listen to Mr. Asedin Katia on Joy about this particular case, it goes as far back as 2013. Up to the point that MPP wins the election, and President Akufo-Addo says that, well, Akonta mining is not in Galamsey. So somebody cynically said that, well, former president should have been used as a prosecution witness to come and defend Mr. Wontumi as why he believes that he was not doing Galamsey. The evidence that he has seen. People have done so many things with impunity in this country. And that, for me, is a threat to our democracy. What they intend to do is rather a threat. Because, to be frank with you, they should get independent minds to interpret the Sadina case to the MPP loyalists. If it is about Nolly Prosecco, you prosecuted Dr. Opuni and Co. and Oxedo Agongo for 8 solid years. If you really believe that this case was not born out of frivolous charges, 8 years you couldn't get conviction because they were speaking law.
I see. Doc,
They mentioned the governor of Bank of Ghana they've mentioned Dr. Dufour and Co. I mean, look, one Dr. Ine said something. He says that as for him, if he knows that when he goes to court, he won't get conviction, he will discontinue that particular case. He won't even go in. So very soon you'll be seeing some of these charges seeing the light of day in terms of imprisonment or reinvestment into the state coffers.
Doc,
I see him to be a strategic prosecutor, not a persecutor. For an Attorney General to decide to go on appeal against Sedna Tenocro's case, then that is an independent-minded person. That is an independent-minded person. He is of the view that what the judge said in the U.S. before they agreed to send the woman back is something that is instructive. It's something that is instructive. But let's see how it goes.
Very well.
But as for the demonstration, Constitution allows that. And a big party like MPP obviously want to test their popularity on the ground.
I see. Doc, thank you so much for your time this evening. So that's Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, who is Executive Director for the African Institute for Strategic Studies. Well, still on the MPP, they have demanded details from the government on the financing arrangement for the 2 Ghana cedis per litre reduction in diesel prices, questioning which taxes, levies, or margins are being adjusted to support the intervention. The ranking member on Parliament Energy Committee, George Kwame Okyere Jnr, said the government must provide clarity on the source of funding and the expected revenue impact of the policy. Speaking at a press briefing earlier today, Mr. Okyere Jnr questioned the sustainability of the relief measure and called for transparency in its implementation.
Compassion without fiscal discipline is not sustainable policy. We call on the government to publish the full petroleum price build-up and the financing sources before implementation, to cap the intervention at a disclosed fiscal amount and report weekly on liters subsidized and revenue forgone, to prioritize targeted relief for public transport, food distribution, agriculture and fishing, rather than an indefinite universal subsidy, to apply automatic sunset clauses with objective crude price and exchange rate triggers, and to pay industry claims promptly so that this relief does not become the next generation of arrears. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the 2 cedis reduction may ease the pressure for a month, but a 1-month discount on diesel financed opaquely alongside a permanent levy taken at midnight and a downgraded energy sector is not an economic strategy. Ghanaians deserve to know who pays, how the relief is financed, and how the resulting revenue gap will be prevented from becoming new debt. Our members will file urgent questions demanding the financing sources of the 2 cedis relief, the budgetary provision behind it, and a definitive answer on whether the 1 cedi levy will remain at its full rate during the relief period, and whether costs previously transferred to consumers will be refunded. In scrutiny, our policy coordinating committee will track and publish month by month the collections of the energy sector levies, the refunds actually paid to industry, and the movement of pump prices against the exchange rate, so that Ghanaians can see for themselves how much of the city's strength is reaching the pump. With stakeholders, we will engage the transport unions, industry, and consumer groups directly and place the burden they carry on the parliamentary record. And in policy, we will put forward the alternative, a transparent, rules-based shock response framework with published price build-ups, disclosed fiscal caps, targeted relief for transport, food distribution, agriculture and fishing, and automatic sunset triggers in place of midnight levies and 1-month discounts.
So that's the ranking member on Parliament Energy Committee, George Kwame Okyere, speaking earlier today during a press conference. This is 505 on Class 91.3. I'll take a break. When I come back, we have more.
Hello?
Charlie, I'm at the library. Why do you keep calling me?
Wait, question. What's the capital of Burkina Faso?
Ouagadougou. Bye.
Wait. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
Venus. Charlie, why all these questions?
See, I'm playing the MTN Swipe and Win promo. I might cash out some cool 1,000 Ghana cedis today.
Hey! 1,000 cedis! Shh! Charlie, what's the next question?
Join the MTN Swipe and Win promo today. Answer trivia, earn points, and stand a chance to win 1,000 Ghana cedis every day. Weekly cash of 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 Ghana cedis. A brand new Hyundai Texan in the first 3 months, and the ultimate grand prize of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Recharge your account to qualify for the daily draws. To join, visit swipeandwinpromo.mtn.com.gh. Download the My MTN app or dial *5030#. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. TNCs apply.
MTN.
Well, some 46 minutes after 5 here on Class 91.3. This is 505. To some other stories. Fearful of losing their farms to flooding, residents along the White Volta River are calling for a delay in the plant Bagri Dam spirit, saying their crops are not yet ready for harvest. They want government to engage authorities in Burkina Faso to postpone the controlled release of water from the dam until they are able to harvest their produce. The concern comes ahead of the annual controlled spillage of excess water from Burkina Faso's Bagri Dam, an exercise that has over the years affected several communities downstream in Ghana, particularly those along the White Volta Basin. The annual release is carried out to protect the structural safety of the dam when water levels rise, but the resulting increase in water levels in the White Volta River has often led to flooding, destruction of farmland, displacement of residents, and disruptions of livelihoods in affected communities. Our Northeast Regional Correspondent Jaram Boache first spoke to some residents on their concerns. Listen.
So I'm currently at a community called Dintiki in the Eastman Precinct municipality of the Northeast region. As we all are aware, there's a communique from the Burkina Faso authority indicating that on the 11th of this month, the 2026, there's going to be a major exercise on the Bagri Dam in the Burkina Faso. So this particular exercise is done every year, especially during this period where we have heavy downfall across the country and also in Burkina Faso. So they do spill or open the dam to allow some level of water to spill out so that the dam will be able to contain the level of water that they need, or the level of water that the dam can contain. So this morning, I'm in a community called Dintiki to find out from the communities here who are farming along the rivers, to find out from them exactly what their preparations are and whether or not government or NADMO officials has been here to educate the people on what to do and also what to expect during that period that the Burkina Faso authority will be doing here in Dintiki. The authority in Burkina Faso will be opening the Bagri Dam. And as a farmer in Dintiki, this community that share border with the river, what is your fear and what do you expect government to do?
Okay, so we heard that it will be open on the 11th. And as farmers, that's where we depend on. And looking at our crops this year, they are not even ready for harvesting. And here is the case that they are going to open the dam. I don't know what will happen to our crops after opening the dam, because that's where we also manage for our families. So I think they should have first of all wait till when we harvest our farm products, then they do so. But we don't know their reason for opening it, but I think we, the farmers here, we are very worried that if they open, we might not get anything this year.
I see. Okay, thank you very much. Your name, please.
My name is Fatal. And all the to convey all our crops away.
So what do you expect government to do?
Well, I propose that the government should wait patiently till our crops are, grown, or we will harvest everything and then they can now open it. Otherwise, it will affect us.
Okay, so thank you very much. Are your crops ready for harvest? And now that they want to open, what do you want government to do?
Our crops are not ready for harvesting. And now that they are trying to open the dam, I think it will affect us, our crop, our foodstuffs, our livestock, animals, and those who might find their way into the water bodies. They may be carried away, and which may contribute to hunger and economic hardship on the communities and villages that are surrounded by the water. So I think the government should have taken enough time to sensitize the public, educate us about what is going to be happening and what can be done, so that if the dam is eventually opened, it will not go ahead to affect our crops, our animals, and even eventually maybe some properties or houses that may be located along the water bodies. So I think the government should exercise patience with opening the dam while providing more information about the modalities surrounding its opening until everything is safe for them to open it. Then they can go ahead and open the dam. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. So these will be some residents who are farming around the Volta Lake, a community called Intiki in the Northeast region, located in the East Mamprisi Municipal Assembly.
So that's a conversation between my colleague in Northeast, Jadamboache, and some residents, some farmers who are likely to be affected by the spillage of the Bagre Dam next week, Tuesday. This is 505 here on Class 91.3. It's time for business, and Nanajiman Prempe is here.
And in business, the surge in global cocoa price is expected to provide some relief for Ghanaian cocoa farmers, but many producers may still record lower overall incomes as declining harvests offset the benefit of stronger international prices. Following the Ghana Cocoa Board's announcement that the cocoa production could fall significantly during the 2026-27 crop season, global cocoa prices climbed sharply amid concerns over tightening supply. Meanwhile, higher prices improve the potential value of cocoa exports, as analysts argue that many farmers are unlikely to reap its full benefit because they will have fewer beans to sell. The following report tells us more.
By the morning of Monday, August 3, global cocoa futures were trading near $5,664 per metric ton for New York contract and around €4,009 per ton for London contract, driven higher over the past few days by the announcement from Cocoa Board. Ghana's upcoming production shortcomings are being attributed to the combined effect of swollen shoots disease, aging cocoa farms, and the likelihood of adverse weather from El Nino weather pattern. Prior to the latest announcement, cocoa prices had been under downward pressure over the past 2 weeks and posted 4 weeks low on Tuesday last week, July 28, on signs of larger global cocoa supplies and amid uncertain demand. The previous day's cumulative data from the Côte d'Ivoire showed that farmers' shipment of cocoa to port in the current marketing year, October 1, 2025 through July 26, 2025, were up by 21% from the same period a year ago. Also, Bloomberg reported on July 16 that Nigerian cocoa exports in June rose 30% year-on-year to 18,922 metric tons. Lower cocoa production in Ghana during the 2026 and 2027 crop season is likely to produce a paradox for Ghanaian cocoa farmers, who are now guaranteed by newly passed legislation.
So that was a NewsX report. Following the passage of the 2026 Cocoa Bill in Parliament on Friday, 31st July, paving the way for major reforms here in Ghana, the co-coordinator of the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform, GCCP, a cocoa think tank, Obed Osu Adai welcomed the move by the House, but thus questioned some conditionalities in the bill which prohibits farmers from diversifying the use of their lands.
The first thing that we have realized when you look at clause 80 of the new cocoa board bill, they are designating cocoa farms as protected farms. The technology they are using is protected farm. And then when you come to 81.1, they are designating or they are explaining what you can do and cannot do in a protected farm. And one of the key challenges or problems we are having is that the law under clause 81.1 is saying that when you have a cocoa farm, you cannot convert the cocoa farm to any other farm, except if you write to the Minister for Finance for approval before you can change your land use. What this means is that this bill or this Cocoa Board Act is indirectly contravening existing land use plans or land use laws that are in the country. For example, if I'm a farmer, I go to a landowner and acquire a land to make a farm, I should have the liberty and the freedom to change the crop I want to change.
Obedo Uswada is the co-coordinator of the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform. On the international front, Brussels Airlines reported an adjusted EBIT loss of 70 million euros for the first 6 months of 2026 as sharply higher fuel costs, an Ebola outbreak in East African labor disruptions in Belgium offset stronger passenger volumes and improve operational performance. So that's it for business. Back to you, KOJ.
Thank you, Nanajiman Prempe, for bringing us business. I'm sure that you're wondering why I've not read the messages. Some challenges we cannot bring you the WhatsApp messages this evening due to some systemic challenge. We'll try as much as possible to do that. Hopefully tomorrow.
30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now, to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards, plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead because every move counts. Ghana, let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points, and win big. Dial *530# or visit the My MTN app for more.
So that's all for 505 this evening. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. Pleasure coming your way this evening. We'll do the same time tomorrow at 5 p.m. Good evening. Good night.